Denison has a long tradition of taking time at commencement to honor women and men who have distinguished themselves in the arts, in letters, in the academy, and in public life. In exercising its right to award honorary doctoral degrees, the university links itself visibly and importantly to the community of excellence, high purpose, and public concern that knows no boundaries in either time or place. The individuals that we honor today have distinguished themselves as prominent leaders in their fields. I urge all of you, but especially the graduates, to read the biographical remarks in the back of your program to more fully acquaint yourselves with their accomplishments. At this time, I would like to welcome Tom Hoagland, class of 1971 and chair-elect of the Denison Board of Trustees, who will serve as the nominator of our first honoree. Tom?
Mr. President, it's a privilege and an honor to present Ann Hagedorn, class of 1971, candidate for the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters.
And I read the citation on your diploma. The trustees of Denison University, by virtue of the authority vested in them, and upon recommendation of the faculty thereof, confer upon Ann Hagedorn, Denison class of 1971, acclaimed author and master storyteller, whose works Wild Ride, Ransom, Beyond the River, and Savage Peace have captured imaginations and illuminated events of the past for today's readers. Tenacious journalist whose reporting talents generated discerning accounts of key events and social issues at the San Jose Mercury News, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Daily News. Teacher and mentor whose guidance and nurturing shape future generations of writers. Meticulous researcher and writer with a gift for exposing threads of history and knitting them into insightful chronicles. The degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, given in the village of Granville in the state of Ohio, the 17th day of May 2009, being the 233rd year of the Republic and of the University, the 178th, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and on the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters. And in token of this action, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to your degree. And Dr. Hagedorn, I present you with this diploma.
Thank you, Dr.
As you heard from the citation, an award-winning author and journalist, Ms. now Dr. Hagedorn, exemplifies the best of what a liberal arts education is all about. Her ability to meticulously research the historic subjects about which she writes and to compellingly bring them to life on the printed page is well known and widely acclaimed across the nation. She is unabashedly passionate about liberal education and has said that she would not be the writer she is today if it were not for her liberal arts experience at Denison. And you make your college proud. And we're delighted to have you here today. Would you please come to the podium to share with us the gift of the liberal arts, Ann Hagedorn.
Thank you, Dale. I hope he realizes the danger of putting an author of long books in front of a microphone. Did you bring your sleeping bags and tents? Seriously, when I first learned, so it's only going to be about 45 minutes, maybe to an hour. Yeah, just kidding, of course. Seriously, when I first learned that I would receive this honor and that I would also be talking to you, the graduating class, I struggled in choosing a topic. And actually, I'm bringing the proof of that in this little notebook I carried with me for about 2 months, jotting down the details of what I wanted to say to you. I couldn't exactly choose what would be the most important thing to communicate to you. Should I talk about the life as a writer and why I passionately love to do what I do for a living? As inspiration, of course, to those of you who are writers or seek to be writers, or those of you who, like me at your age, are writers but don't yet know it? Should I talk to you about my books and how each of them, being so different from the others, is somehow rooted in my education here? Should I talk to you about the challenges and the rewards of being a writer? I could describe the adventures of each of my books. But alas, that was too predictable, too obvious, too easy, actually. And it had a sort of finality to it, as if I had arrived, so to speak, and you hadn't, which of course is not true at all. We are all on common ground here today, as we are all explorers of ideas, of visions, of problems, of solutions, of the past, of the future, of what is wrong with the world, and of what might be better for the world. The only difference being that some of us simply have more experience. We became explorers because of the gift that is in the title of my speech, the gift I received many years ago and that you now will soon possess. The gift we all share, the gift of a liberal arts education, the gift of a liberal arts degree. After much thought, I decided that what I can do for you today is to point out the significance of that gift, the absolutely remarkable, undeniable, unmistakable value of the gift of the liberal arts. I must first confess to you, though, that I did not recognize that value on the day that I was sitting where you are today. Not at all. When I graduated in 1971, our nation was at war and in the midst of a recession. Jobs were scarce, and there I was without a specific skill, a young Renaissance woman who was filled with a deep and vibrant passion for history, for literature, for philosophy, psychology, art, astronomy, for the mysteries of the universe, for Bach, for Ravel, for Brahms, and of course for the Rolling Stones. My soul was stirred, my senses dazzled, but I could not envision a clear path for my life. And during the year following graduation, I questioned every second I had spent here. I was skeptical. I wanted answers. I wanted it all laid out, the perfect roadmap for my life. I wanted a plan, any plan, someone else's plan, just a plan to remove the anxiety of the open road ahead. I simply could not see how to chop my way through the thicket, nor could I understand how to utilize my education, to apply it to my life. Ironically, I couldn't see that my skepticism, my questioning spirit, my analysis of the situation, even my passionate, expressive rants, and I think there's some people in the audience today who remember those, were benefits of the very education I was doubting. I felt as if I had entered a mansion when I came here, opening the doors to many rooms, excitedly exploring their contents and discovering exquisite treasures. For example, freshman year, the jewels in the crown were Francesco Petrarch and Benvenuto Cellini. Sophomore year, it was George Orwell and the Spanish Civil War, as well as Evelyn Waugh, and that year too, Carl Jung and Albert Einstein. Junior year, John Hope Franklin's From Slavery to Freedom changed my life. In senior year, my exploration of the Harlem Renaissance at Denison and at Yale taught me the sheer joy of deep primary source research and the even greater thrill of thinking through a very long piece of writing. But then suddenly it seemed that the door had slammed shut, and there I was standing on the stoop, hesitant to walk away. Could I leave? What skills did I have? If only I could have seen that everything that I had learned here helped me to shape a rich and wondrous, never boring, always challenging life. If only I could have understood that the liberal arts education does not tell us what to think, nor does it lay out what we are supposed to do with the rest of our lives. Rather, it teaches us how to think, so that we have a chance to discover our passions and to design a path to pursue them. It doesn't give us the answers. Instead, of course, it teaches us the skills to ask the questions.